Hello guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to review the Skoda T56. This is going to be my first review of a tank on this channel, so if you want to keep them coming, make sure to leave your suggestions down below. And yeah, so the Skoda T56 is a tank that usually appears every week for some people. Basically, whenever you play your first battle of the week, you'll get a personalized offer of a vehicle, and amongst many others, there's the Skoda as well for 6.5 thousand gold, I believe. You get the vehicle, this cool legendary camo, which I think is one of the best camos in the game, legendary camos. Full equipment, and you also get some boosters, so that's pretty nice. And for 6.5k gold, I think it's a very, very good vehicle. Now, looking into the statistics, the gun is actually a pretty nice one. As you can see, in terms of gun handling, it's similar to that of A252s. That being said, I think in my experience it works so much better. I'm not sure if it has to do with on-move dispersion or some soft stats that only Wargaming can see, but it works just better, even when not fully aimed in. Now, the damage per minute is actually without rammer, and even with rammer is actually not good, but on the contrary, you have 450 alpha on your AP rounds, which is very, very high. You can even out-trade some tier 9 heavies, or even trade with tier 9 heavies pretty comfortably. And you also have 640 alpha on your HE, which is actually, I believe, the highest amongst any tier 8 heavies. Or at least in the top, I don't know, 3-5. It's very high. And you can punish some TDs and light tanks a lot with this HE, or obviously if you can get an enemy's back. As for the penetration, I'm running Cali, so there's that. But as you can see, the AP penetration on the standard is pretty decent. 300 on the heat is very good. You can basically pen everything, even in tier 9. And on the HE, it's also not bad. In terms of mobility, the vehicle is fairly mobile. I mean, it says 28 average speed and 35 max, but I think this vehicle can go even faster. Obviously, it depends on the terrain and everything, but it's a pretty mobile tank. 13.3 power to weight ratio is actually not bad, and the turn rates are also pretty decent on the vehicle. Now, one more thing that I'd like to mention is it has sandbag as a provision, so that's pretty nice. This is the equipment setup I'm running. Now, as for the armor, as you can see, the vehicle has a pretty easily penetrable lower plate, 130 mils only. Basically, any tier 7 can cut right through that, even when they're stock probably. But the upper plate is around 300 to 290 millimeters thick, which is actually very strong. You need some very high penetration premium rounds to cut through that. And the turret is also, as you can see, pretty strong, although right besides the mantlet there's like a slightly weaker part, like on the cheeks basically, where even around 300 mils can pen right through it, like around that part right here. But the tank does have spaced armor, as you can see, which means it can actually hold its ground against heat shells pretty well. Again, it's mainly around this part where there's no spaced armor, but it's not actually the mantlet, so this small part where you can actually get penetrated. And the roof is pretty strong, so you don't have to worry about that one, but the hatch is very weak. In its weakest, it's around 140 mils, which is easily penetrable. And I forgot to mention, but the vehicle does actually have 8 degrees of gun depression, which when using that you can see, well, this is not exactly 8 degrees, but the point I'm trying to make is you can still hit its cupola pretty easily, so you either have to wiggle your turret or block your cupola with your gun. Either way, it's still a weak spot on the vehicle, but as you can see, the upper plate can go up to like 360 mils, which is pretty nice. As for the side armor, I mean, on flat ground it's 70 mils, which is bad because it can get overmatched easily, or well, very high caliber guns can actually overmatch it. But against lower caliber guns, as you will see in the replay as well, because of the V shape of the hole, you can actually side script pretty easily, pretty well. It doesn't really have any weak spots, a weak shoulder or anything like that. Again, it's just the high calibers. And the back of the vehicle is pretty lightly armored. You can actually get bent with 60 mil HE, which, I mean, even this vehicle has 73, I believe. So that's one thing to keep in mind. So overall, the armor is actually pretty strong. You just have to, use your gun depression, know its weaknesses, and be careful about higher penetration guns, because for them your armor is basically, non-existent. But against lower penetrations, mainly tier 7, tier 8, it's actually very strong. It's one of the better armored tier 8 vehicles, and it can even hold its ground in tier 9. So that's it for the armor. Now let's get into the Ace Tanker gameplay. Okay, so I'm back. We are on Falls Creek Supremacy. Now I'm checking the enemy team, and I can see that they have, well, basically a K2 and 2 VKs that pose somewhat of a threat to us in the heavy line. So I'm thinking of pushing with the heavies. I don't want to go with the mediums. I think we can actually just abuse the enemy team. They don't have a lot of gun depression and a lot of penetration as well. So this is my favorite spot here. You can use your gun depression a lot, and it basically like hides your lower plate. It's a pretty good spot. Now I know the K2 is coming up the hill, but he's still not there. I'm waiting, and we get a nice shot into his tank. He misses his shot, but I think he would have probably bounced anyways. It's not that the K2's gun's that accurate. Now, I shouldn't have probably picked up here. Granted, there was no chance of me getting a shot in, but he did actually ricochet, so that's pretty nice. At this point, I'm just waiting to see if they make a mistake, they mess up, something like that. And that's what the K2 does. And as you can see, the gun is hitting its shots. I mean, even though it has like 0.4 dispersion, it actually does hit its shots. And not even, like, you don't even have to be fully aimed in. At least in my experience, it can also hit its shots when you're not fully aimed in. Now we got kind of a lucky shot into the VK with the heat. I think that maybe was the crew skill, I'm not sure. Now I see that they're taking care of the enemy tier 7 VK, so I know I can just push up and be very aggressive against this guy. Yeah, well, I'm a bit over angled there and wasn't paying attention. But I can see that he's not a very good player, so I'm just trying to farm him as fast as possible, because I can already see on the map that our medium flank just lost. So as you can see, we can get some nice bounces with this vehicle and side scraping. But against higher caliber guns, you have to watch out. The Smasher is pushing up, but for some reason you'll see he loads AG. Right now, as you can see, got like a 200 damage shot into him, which later on you will see why. He's not, a very strong player. Now I see the K2. I didn't actually know he was AFK, but I tried to track him. But obviously the K2 is the K2. It has a trollish side armor, and I kind of messed up. I should have aimed at his turret, or probably loaded in a heat round. No, actually just probably aimed into his turret like right now. He started to move, which is a bit concerning, and now he started actually moving. Maybe, I don't know, his laundry got finished and he, I don't know, has to get it out of the machine, or I'm not sure how you randomly go AFK for a minute in the middle of a battle and then you come back, but whatever. Our defender dies and I spot the SU. Try to get a quick shot into him, and as you can see, the gun is hitting its shots. we are already at 3.3 thousand damage. Now at this point I see that the HTC is full HP, so I'm hoping that he can cover me if the mediums do decide to rush me. And well, the KPZ is doing whatever. Probably they will rush the HTC, but I don't really care at this point. He can still get some shots into them and I can kill them pretty easily. So then again, we get a nice little shot into the SU. The gun is, as you can see, doing its job. The smasher ends up missing. I don't really want to say anything. I switch to heat to make sure I guarantee the kill on him. Shoots an AG into me, deals 82 damage. The HTC is going for help, but obviously I'm not there. The smasher isn't there either. Again, he got some nice shots into them, which is all that matters for me. I know I can, carry this battle without him being alive. I just needed him to hold the enemy mediums down and get some nice damage into them. Now, I'm thinking at this point that the T-44 will try to escape the other way, but he is actually not. And we get a nice little snap into him. Again, as you can see, even when the gun's not fully aimed in, it does hit its shots, which I found the defender to be quite the opposite. As you can see, at this point I thought the KPZ is going to escape to the left, but he goes to the right for some reason. Maybe he knew about the smasher being there, probably. Now he's trying to be slick with his 1v1, but at this point there's no way he's winning this, obviously. We are already at 4.7k, a lot of damage blocked, and I'm pretty sure he'll get another ricochet right here. Yeah, he shoots right into our turret, and we get the clear on him. 4 kills, 5,000 damage, 2.5k blocked. Pretty nice game. Okay, so after some technical difficulties, I'm back with the post-game screen. And as you can see, we get a nice little 5,000 damage game. 3.4k blocked. For destroyed we make 240k basically, which is a lot of credits. And we get an ace tanker, as you can see, a nice little top gun, high caliber and steel wool as well. I'm pretty sure this is around, in the past 3 months, top 15 damage with the Skoda. On Blitz stars it's just out of the seasonal Hall of Fame damage, so sadly we couldn't get like one more extra shot in. Maybe if we wouldn't have bounced the K2 sides. And as you can see, we've done our part trying to get this victory. And yeah, as you can see, the smasher wasn't necessarily the best player. Probably that's why he loaded in HE, even though with heat he could have gotten the clear very easily. In the end, I think this battle showcased why the Skoda is such a strong vehicle. It, has basically everything you'd want from it. It's fast, it has gun depression, its armor works very well, and it has a big alpha with decent penetration numbers. You just have to be a bit careful of, the lower DPM basically. You don't want to get into a 1v1 situation with like a higher DPM medium, obviously. And the gun dispersion is also still not the best, even though in this replay you could see that we are hitting our shots. And actually, if we just look at the raw stats of the vehicle, it has 0.394 dispersion, and the defender has 0.398 actually. So it's a bit worse, in fact, but the Skoda just hit so many more shots for me. But then again, you have to be prepared for that IS style trollish gun. But in the end, I think it's worth 6.5 thousand gold, very much so. So again, this was my first video in this quick review and Ace Tanker series. I don't have a name for it yet, so leave your suggestions down below. If you want to see more of these videos, hit that thumbs up button, and if you want to see more of my videos in general, then maybe consider subscribing. I'd very much appreciate that. And yes, thank you everyone for watching. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and see you soon.